Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a very chill video. I decided I'm going to clean my entire room today. Deep clean. So I deep cleaned the carpet, deep cleaned the floors, deep cleaned the bed, new sheets, all that jazz. Hung up a painting that's been sitting in the corner the whole time, and I have a desk where I do my work from home stuff, and on the desk is all my eyeshadow palettes. And I had to take them all off because I wanted to deep clean the desk as well. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to share with you guys what my eyeshadow palette collection looks like, because it's not something I really show on this channel, and I probably haven't since I moved. So I wanted to go through with you what my eyeshadows are. I feel like eyeshadow palettes are not something I'm drawn to the way I used to when I first started doing makeup, but let's go through it. Okay, I will never get rid of this, and I miss when makeup products were fun like this. This is the Urban Decay Game of Thrones palette. Look at this. That's so sick. They don't make packaging like this anymore. It has inscriptions here, and then the palette itself comes out from the side. Now, I'm gonna be really honest. The palette isn't my favorite. There's a lot of shimmers, and there's only 3 mattes, which is why I don't really reach for it. I think I just didn't know how to use this palette. I don't feel like these shadows, these 2 down here, are all that pigmented, and I think I was overall just creatively unsure. I have the entire collection. I bought it for myself after I broke up with an ex-boyfriend, but I think one of my resolutions for this year is going to be use palettes that I don't really use anymore, so I will be pulling this one back out. I'm going to go in order of largest to smallest because that's kind of how I have them laid out. The next palettes you have seen because they are the Danessa Myrix Groundwork palette, Groundwork and Groundwork Romance palette. These are incredible. This one's super neutral. They have a pomade and a powder on each one. The formulation of these shadows are absolutely incredible. It's something I continue to reach for anytime when I want an eyeshadow that really just sinks into the skin. The pomades are incredible. They look like they're a part of your skin. I've used this neutrals palette as contour, bronzer, eyebrows, shadow, any of that. You can even use this on your lips if you wanted to. And when she came out with this palette, which is all kind of pinks, mauves, all of that jazz, I decided I was definitely gonna get this because I can use this as blush, lipstick, which I've done before, eyeshadows, obviously. The possibilities are kind of endless, and with how malleable the pomades are, truly, it's just a joy to use. I look at this, I feel creative, I feel inspired, and I think I come up with my best looks using these palettes. So there's something I would never ever get rid of, no matter what. Incredible. Another palette I have, this is discontinued. This was a long time ago. This was the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This was really big when it came out. It's a huge Urban Decay palette. It's one of their more colorful palettes. You know, they went into that whole neutral phase where everyone was doing clean girl. This was pre that. I love this color story. I love that you can almost set it into quads and do something with those quads. I've worn every single shadow on my eyes. I love that there's a good mix of mattes to shimmers, a good mix of colors. I do wish there was one cool toned matte shadow in here. I think that's what stops me from really utilizing this palette. But this shimmer Smog, incredible. This shimmer Big Sky, so good. Truly, Urban Decay, when they were making palettes like this, had chef's kiss incredible formula. I'm gonna make sure to pull this palette out again. Also, the mirror is humongous because it really was just one of Urban Decay's best palettes ever, and that's why I continue to keep it with me. Another Danessa Myrix palette. This is the Groundwork Volume 5 palette. This was my first big Danessa purchase. Look at this. You've seen it on my eyes so many times. Truly, I just look at this palette and I just feel inspired. I feel creative. I feel yeah, let me do something interesting on my face today. I love the shift. I love the textures. Some are just toppers. Some are really chunky. I was gonna say crunchy, but that's not the right word. Chunky. They're all duochrome. They're all flippy, and they all have such great color payoff. Danessa can make a million of these palettes, but I do think this is one of the best ones. Not just because it's the only one I own, but then we have another discontinued palette. This is the So Jaded palette. This was the ColourPop's Kathleen Lights collab palette. I bought all of Kathleen's collabs. I am a Kathleen Lights fan. She was the first person via YouTube that I found that really resonated with me. I loved how she was like, you know, when I was first starting, she was soft, but also colorful. And her approach to makeup is very approachable. This is my favorite palette she ever came out with. It has a really incredible range of shadows, and I was not always the biggest fan of ColourPop shadows. I think when they first came out with their eyeshadows, I did buy some. They were really, really, really warm. Like in the pan, it would look cool tone, you put it on your eyes and it would be warm. And so the formulation was just off, but whenever they collaborated with an influencer, the formulation was just like chef's kiss. This is incredible. This is a Super Shock shadow in the corner here that's kind of broken and put back together. That shade's incredible. They have chunky glitters, 2 of them, topaz and opal. I look at this palette and I just feel inspired. It's everything you'd want it to be and more. The shadows are beautifully formulated. The mattes blend out, creamy, pigmented. The metallics, nice. The duochromes shift. The glitters, the toppers, like truly, it's just like an all-in-one palette. I think it's Kathleen's best collab. If this came back out, I would buy a new one in a heartbeat because this is very old. I don't believe that pressed powders expire when they say they do. I think when the formula changes, then they're expired. I've been using this palette for years. It's never, ever, ever failed me, and I will never get rid of this. It's one of my favorite palettes that's ever come out. I do have 2 more mega palettes from ColourPop. This is when their eyeshadow formula got better. I got the Stone Cold Fox palette because I learned I didn't have that many cool tones in my collection, and I really do love a cool eye look. I love grays on my eyes. I don't know. I love like cool mauves on my eyes. So I bought this palette because it has all of that. It has mattes, shimmers, metallics, all of it. They are really, really, really nice, and I've used this palette a bunch of times, and it's just really, really good. Additionally, I was missing a lot of colors, and I wanted to start doing colorful looks, so I got the Meet Matte Hue palette. One of my pans broke and fell out, but this is an all matte. Oh no, bro. Make that 2 shadows have broken now. Oh my god, I don't have it in me to fix this. All over my fingers though. I think what's difficult is these shadows are softer because they are so pigmented. They have great color payoff. They're incredible to work with. And usually when I do any kind of colorful look, I reach for this palette that's now has 2 of my favorite shades broke. It's all good. It's all good. It's one of my favorite palettes. It might be something that I will like purchase a new one of. Oh, how bad does it look? Okay, I kind of pressed the back of the palette. This is something that I would repurchase because I think it is like worth the money, really great. And you don't have mega palettes like this with all these colorful colors. Not a single neutral in this palette, and I love that. The next palette that I got, I was really surprised about this. My dad's a big Peanuts fan. We love Snoopy. Wet n Wild came out with a Peanuts winter collab maybe 4 years ago, so this is an old palette, and I bought the whole collection. That's back when I was just buying shit, you know what I mean? It was the pandemic. And this palette, I didn't really know what to do with. I think I got this on sale. It has a chunky glitter, 2 chunky glitters here that are like pressed glitters. It has a few metallics. It has beautiful duochrome moments down here, and then some mattes. I feel like this is the most disjointed palette that I own. I don't always look at this and feel like I know exactly what I'm gonna do, but I do think when I use this palette, I always come out being like, wow, I like this eye look, because I think the shadows, Wet n Wild has great shadows. For like a drugstore brand, Wet n Wild shadows are unbeatable. They're way better than Maybelline. I don't even know if Maybelline still makes eyeshadow palettes, but back when they were trash. This is great. They're all very pigmented. They're all really stunning. And every time I wear this, I do get compliments on my eyes. It's just finding how to, like, I don't know if I've ever dipped into this red pan because I kind of don't know what to do with it. Well, now maybe I'm inspired to do something with this. The Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. This is the Katie Desi palette. I got this when I was in college. I helped a friend pass this really difficult class, and he told me he wouldn't have graduated without me. So he got me a gift card to Ulta, and I bought this palette with it. Every time I look at this palette, I think of my time in college. I think of my friendship with that person, and truly this was like an elite collaboration. The mattes are so creamy and blendable, and the shadows are so stunning. This blue is like a duochrome that can look blue and deep purple. I think truly this palette was something special, very much of the time, and I don't think we'd ever get something like this today. So I keep it for memories and because it's truly just like elite. Okay, next we have an Ace Beauty palette. This is the Nostalgia palette. I kept this because I love bright colors. I think when I look at palettes like this, these are one of the palettes, Ace Beauty in general, I hope they're still a company, their shadows are brighter when you apply them to your face than they look in the pan. So this will always give me a very vibrant look, and I do not like Ace Beauty metallics. I don't think they're formulated well. I don't think they have a good color payoff, but the mattes are really, really cool, and they always come up with like really cool concepts for palettes. I love this single green in here. You recognize how you can move this green and use it places, but it's just like, I think this is a really beautiful palette. I look at it, I feel inspired to do something, so it has stuck with me, and the mattes are really well formulated. I don't support this brand, but I have this palette from Natasha Denona. This is the Love Face palette. I got this when I went to Sephora. It has a cream blush, cream highlighter, and then these shadows. It's just okay. I don't understand. I know Natasha Denona has a bunch of hype around it, and so when I got this palette, I was like, oh my god, my first Natasha palette, and back then I was supporting Natasha, and it's okay. I don't like the blush. Like, I don't like the cream products in this palette. I think it's really not good, but the shadows are okay. I don't think it's anything you can't get somewhere else for cheaper. Then we have Nabla. Nabla is a brand I really like. I know it's super big in Europe. It's not as big here in the US, and I don't know why. I think it deserves all of its flowers. I think this is the Read My Mind palette. I got this on a 21 Days of Beauty because they always have Nabla on sale. And it's a really cool palette because it has kind of like them broken up. So it's broken up by quads here, but you can also kind of run down the line like this and go down. It tells you kind of how to do your eyes, but you don't have to use it that way. These shadows are really, really beautiful, and every time I wear this palette, I love my eye look. I think truly the quality of Nabla across the board is incredible, and it doesn't get the love it deserves, and I personally love it. I loved this palette, and it's just got so many uses. I have to pull this out again. Okay, I also don't support this brand anymore, but back when I got this palette, I did. This I got from, I think, a BoxyCharm. It's been a long time since I've had a BoxyCharm. This is the Tartiest Pro palette. I do love the smell of Tarte shadows. It's a very, very comforting smell. I loved this palette because it was mostly matte back at a time when this was made, when a lot of palettes were very shimmer heavy. Tarte makes really great matte shadows. I don't support them, I don't get them anymore, but it smells like, okay, you know those like candy cigarettes you used to get? It smells kind of like that mixed with chocolate. It smells great. The shadows are so nice. They blend out so well, and I did love the addition of these 4 like topper shadows. You really could use this palette for anything, anywhere. I've dug into a lot of these pans pretty heavy, and I used to use this all the time. I haven't used it since I stopped supporting the brand, but I think I should pull it out again, because just because I'm not supporting them doesn't mean that I can't use the product I already have from them. Another ColourPop palette. This is the Lust for Dusk palette. I had my eyes on this for so long. I really wanted a warm tone palette again. I didn't have like a true warm palette because I had that huge mega palette of cool tones, and I don't know, I just looked at this and I was like, this is so fun. This is so pretty, and it mixes with a little coolness in here. I liked the mix of the warm and the cool. I liked the shade selection. I've worn this a few times. I even like that they have slightly, like they have matte shades with like some glitter in it. I just like the vibe of this palette. I've used it a few times. I really enjoy it. I think I used to wear warm tones so much when I was first getting into makeup that now when I see myself with warm tones on my face, I'm like, this is weird. Because now I feel like I'm most myself when I'm wearing like a graphic liner. So when I have like eyeshadow on my face, I'm always like, oh, just like regular eyeshadow. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Another Ace Beauty palette. This is the Scarlet Dusk palette. It's fiery, okay? Scarlet, definitely feel it. As you can see, I've barely touched the shimmers because I don't like the shimmers, but I do love the mattes, and this one's pretty, I have dug into Lotus quite a bit, Pink Moon, Sunset Rose, pretty much everything else I've really dug into, and again, I love how my eyes look when I use a nice palette like this, and a lot of brands, again, have their neutral moment, and Ace Beauty always went for it, and I love that with color, so a great palette. I have 2 Persona Cosmetics palettes. This is so old, it's in the old packaging. I must have gotten this 7-8 years ago now. It's their original palette. It's absolutely beautiful. Their shadows are I know they're not really known for their eyeshadows or their like powders, but they really should be. Originally they had a Zuma highlighter that was kind of like a mix between these two shades, and it was so buttery, it was so incredible. I wore that to death. I hit pan on that, and then they discontinued it. This palette's great. It's great for everything. It's more neutral, so it's definitely like neutral friendly. I think this is for brown eyes as well, but it works great on my eyes. A favorite shade of mine is Bombshell and Seductive. I like the cooler tones in this palette, and I like that there are moments for warmness and moments for coolness, and you can kind of mix and match to your desire. Heavily used palette of mine. When they came out with the Identity 2, I obviously had to get on that. This is way more colorful. It only has a few mattes. I wish there was a bit more of mixture between a matte. Like, I wouldn't have minded if the green was matte as well, but really pretty palette. I've dug into it so much, you can see. I think the shimmers are really great. I think the mattes blend incredibly well, and everything is so vibrant. I won a contest using this on my eyes when they first launched that years ago. This is the first ever palette I owned. My mom knows nothing about makeup. She went into the new Ulta that opened near us, and I asked her for a palette I saw in like the magazine they sent around, and I just like think of my mom going into this place that like gave her anxiety because she doesn't know anything about makeup. She didn't like being in those spaces, and picking this out for me. It was also quite expensive. It was, I think, $49 back when she got this for me, I think in like 2014, so it's old, okay? And I was not expecting to actually get it for Christmas because we did not have a lot of money growing up. And here it was under the Christmas tree. And I cried when I got it. This is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. Sorry, I'm thinking of my mom now. And as you can see, this is very well loved. I love this palette. This still has the nice smell associated with it. I don't think there's anything more to say than this was one of the most solid neutral palettes of the time. Again, back when I got this, obviously I didn't know anything about brands, so I didn't know anything about Tarte for a long time, so I still supported them at this point. And it's definitely my most well-loved palette, and it holds a special place in my heart, and I'll never be able to get rid of it because it makes me think of like the sacrifices my mom made for me, even though it doesn't seem like a lot. It was a lot of money, and it really got me started on my journey with makeup. So don't use it anymore because it's over a decade old. But Nabla Cosmetics again, they have these things called cutie palettes, which is just 6 little shadows. This is the Midnight Cutie palette. It comes with one kind of like intense glitter, one duochrome, this really incredible metallic. There's only one matte shade in this palette, but these shades are just so rich, so buttery. Every time I use it, I love it. This shade Sapphire alone, like, you just want ba-bam, ba-bam. But all of them are gorgeous. One of my favorite little palettes. I made so many looks with this one palette, and I can make so many more. This is from Hip Dot. This is the Hanukkah palette from Rugrats. I'm not religious. My partner got this for me because he knows I love Rugrats and I love makeup, and it's such a nice little palette. I have made a lot of really great looks with this palette. My first intro to Hip Dot, I know they do a lot of like collaboration palettes, that's their kind of shtick. Has really cool, this glitter is really cool, this pressed glitter, because it's a pressed glitter of pressed stars. So if you can get it, like the brush in there correctly, you can get a star on your face. It's so pretty. I've done so many looks with it. I love the pressed glitters of it. The mattes were really blendable, and I think it was a really nice palette. I think they put like a neutral corner in here, and I wish they hadn't, but I appreciate this palette, and I've used it a lot, and it makes me, again, think of all of the love that I have in my life. Some ColourPop palettes. These are small ones. It started off with this one. This is the Grogu palette. I love the Mandalorian. I love Grogu. More importantly, I love green on my eyes. And there's not really like a green tone palette, but this one has this beautiful mint shade in the middle. It has these really pretty duochrome of like gold and green. It's a gorgeous little palette. I love this little palette. I loved all the greens. I reach for this constantly. I think green looks really good with my eyes, which then led me to get the Mandalorian palette because, of course, you gotta keep them together. And this palette's also really beautiful. It's more of a cool tone palette. I love this middle shade. It's a duochrome. I think the shadows in here are exceptional. I think ColourPop really hit their stride with their shadows, and now they are just something to write home on. I also love, they have little Grogu and Mando there. It's a great little palette. And then because I loved these two so much, I use these in conjunction with each other a lot, and I think they were my yearly favorites in like 2021. I got this one. And I think I didn't need to get this one. But I love the red tones and the deeper grunginess of this palette. I don't really have a grungy palette. I think when I look for like grungy shades, I do have a difficult time. I have to dig into like 6 palettes. So I was like, oh my god, this is perfect, a beautiful quad. I like this. I've used this the least out of all of them because I think I don't quite know what to do with this palette other than grunge. I think it could be an editorial moment where it's something more than what it is, but right now I think it confuses me. But you know, okay, we're almost done. I have these little stacks, and then I'm gonna talk about this one first. This is from Auric. This is Samantha Ravindall's brand. I think it's really beautiful. She had this Smoke Reflect Duo for Christmas, probably 2022. And so I bought it. It was like $75 for these two. And I don't reach for them as much as I should. There is a, oh, it's not even dried out, so I can still use this. There's a cream shadow on the bottom, and then there is a duochrome topper on the top. It's in this green shade, and then there's one in a red shade. It's gorgeous. Again, I like love the looks I do when I get them. I love just the toppers. I love just the bases. It's just something I don't reach for as much, so maybe I'll move this into a space where I can see it more prominently so I can use it. Also, the packaging is just like gorgeous, gorgeous. Everything I've used from Auric, they're expensive, has been great. Another palette that I got from a loved one, my little brother, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, whenever this palette came out, he knew I liked makeup. It was Christmas time, and he wanted to get me some kind of makeup, so he walked into a Sephora and he told the people, my sister likes makeup, and they said, what are her favorite brands? And he said, I don't really know. So they brought him around places, and they got him to get a gift set. They had this like stoned, I don't even know what this one was called, but they had a larger eyeshadow version, and then it has mini. And this was this palette. It came with this and with a black eyeliner, and it was just, I just think it was so sweet. Again, my little brother knows nothing about makeup, and he went out of his way, out of his comfort zone, and he's a very anxious individual to get me something, and these shades are really beautiful, and I've used them quite a lot, and it makes me think of my little brother, who I love with my whole heart, and who now has a podcast with me and my friend Jason. It's called Fast Pass. I'll link it below. History podcast in close to 30 minutes or less. Okay, another Persona palette. This is a mini. This is their Color Theory palette in pink. I don't know if they still sell this. It's a pink palette. I got it because I was like, oh, I like pinks. And I don't use it enough. And I don't know if I love the shadows in here as much as I like their bigger palettes. I think these do pull warmer, and I just don't know if I always like that look on my eye. I honestly probably could get rid of this one. Let me put it to the side. It's sun bleached. That's how old this is. I actually don't know if I need that one. And I have 2 Natasha Denona palettes I got from ColourPop. This one is the Coral palette. I actually do really like these shades. I like the color story of this, and I love reds on my eyes. I know a lot of people don't. I love them. So I got this palette because of that. I've used it a few times and I like it. And then I got this palette. This is the Peak palette. It's fine. I think you can see I've barely touched these shadows. I don't know why I kept this one. I think I might put this one to the side as well. Then another brand I don't support, Rare Beauty. When I went to Sephora, they gave us this little mini Rare Beauty palette. It has a pressed glitter in the middle, 2 shimmers on the side, and then 2 mattes. I do think the formulation is really nice, and I have gotten quite a few good looks at that, so I've kept it. And then finally is another Nabla palette, but this is a glitter quad. I love a glitter moment, and these are like chunky glitters, so pretty. It's these 4 shades. I love them. I love especially this red because it has almost like, this red has almost like a blue shift to it. It's so nice. It's so nice. I need to use this more. But I thought this would be great to go in conjunction with more of my matte palettes. So I'm gonna get rid of these 2. I'm gonna see if friends want them first, because I have a lot of friends who are into makeup, and if not, I'm just gonna get rid of them because they're probably I mean, they're probably very old. They probably should not be used on the eyes anymore, but maybe I should just throw them. I might throw them out. I might give them to friends. I'll figure it out. But I guess I decluttered a little bit along with you guys. That is my eyeshadow palette collection. I used to have way more, okay? I really, when I moved out of my dad's place, I really got rid of a lot of palettes. I've only really bought 3 palettes since I've been in New York, and that is all Danessa Myrix palettes. So yeah, I'm really happy with, I love my little palette collection, but I realize I've never shown it to you. I only go show you my drawer over there, and this deserves some love too. So thank you guys for watching. Let me go clean the rest of my desk so I can go into 2026. I know it's already 2026, but I can continue on in 2026 with a clean, fresh space. See you guys later.